the power of what makes us South African is the fact that we're all different, you know, and how do you celebrate heritage? And for us, like, we're not obviously African in our design. I want to be part of the cool culture. I want to take the cool culture and like influence people, you know. So jeans have always been part of my journey. Fair question to ask. You know, where does it come from? Like mentally, like where does it come from? Do I not deserve to sell a pair of jeans for 850?
Yeah.
Be crazy, man. Don't stop being crazy. Don't stop being foolish. Follow that scary dream.
Yeah.
And stay humble. And
Pat. It's Pat on brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. Pat from the pat is a pat on the.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Pat on Brands podcast with me, Pat Mahlangu. Today is another special one. You know, if it was one of those sensational YouTube platforms would say how to turn, the title of this episode would be how to turn an 800 rands loan from an ex-girlfriend into millions of rands.
hi, bo.
That's how you did it. Isn't it, sir?
Hi, bo. Why are we being
It's not so terrible.
No, but like, why do you have to put it like that?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. If it was one of those, if you wanted to be sensational,
Okay.
that's the approach you take. Tshepo Mohlala.
How you doing, brother?
Good, thanks to you, man. Thank you so much for honoring the invite. I mean, obviously, we've been talking quite a bit. I mean, Tshepo is one of those brands that personally is a favorite.
Yeah.
You know, if I had the money every day,
What do you mean?
I would wear Tshepo.
I mean, like you wear Tshepo every day.
Yeah, I'm wearing Tshepo now.
You always wear Tshepo.
But it's the only jean.
No, it's not.
Yeah, man. Can you please just take us through Tshepo Mohlala from Tsakane? Those days, you know, and especially when you started this brand and you said it's going to be Tshepo. The first person that you told, what was their reaction?
Geez, man, if I can take you way back, I think like, you know, every time when I get asked this question, like it depends on the moment and the mood, you know.
How are you feeling today? You feeling good?
Well, I feel good, man. I just came from Hyde Park,
Nice.
and I was sitting with the staff there, and I looked at the store, and I was like, "This is actually such a beautiful store." You know, like it felt like a dream. It felt like I was in a dream again.
Sure.
So I felt very grateful and very thankful.
Awesome.
Just to be in this and to be a leader in my space and to be able to have achieved this in my time.
Gotcha.
It's really a blessing. You know, I've seen a couple of brands coming in and out.
Yeah.
And the fact that like we're almost 10 years in doing the same thing and we're still here, it's a blessing.
Not doing
you know?
the same thing, pushing the envelope, because you started off making jeans, but now look at you wearing a t-shirt.
I mean, like,
wearing a Tshepo cap.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
You've got a cologne in your store.
It's an evolution of any business.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta innovate, you gotta grow, you gotta you know, like I started with a pair of jeans, and what else do you wear with a pair of jeans? With a t-shirt,
Gotcha.
with socks, with underwear,
Yeah.
and then we're coming to sneakers soon.
Yeah.
So for me, like I was sitting today and I was like feeling very, very grateful and thankful of what we've achieved as a business,
Yes.
what Tshepo as a brand has achieved, and touching so many people's hearts, changing so many people's lives, and feeding so many families. For me, it's like I'm just grateful consistently.
Yeah.
You know, thinking of where I come from, Tsakane, it's. I moved around when I was a kid a lot. I moved around from like my mom was a domestic worker, and we moved around so she can get closer to work consistently. And I probably had to change school like 7 times.
Sure.
You know, so
What was the last school
the last school I went to was UJ actually.
Okay.
And that was like
No,
after my
before UJ.
choice, but like the last school, the high school I graduated in was Brakpan High.
Oh, Brakpan High.
And for me, it's like I was one of those kids who were like, I was a loner. You know, like I think when you move around too many times, you always have to like reinvent yourself so that you can find friends. Reinvent yourself to find where you fit in based on the neighborhood. If you have to protect yourself, you have to move around with people who are strong enough to protect you if there's anyone who tries to bully you. But like looking back, I think like I had a beautiful upbringing. Growing at my grandmother's house, she created an environment where you could never see poverty.
Gotcha.
You know, but when you think about it back now, when you're older back, and you're like, actually, so you know, like, and you tell neighbor.
Sure.
You thought it was like a nice thing. And when you grow up, you like, you kind of, it's hard to ask for people because like
for anything,
it's almost like when you're at your lowest, you have to ask. But I think I had a very great childhood, and the childhood that I have turned me into the person that I am. My grandmother and my grandparents were people who were very strict. And they fostered a strict life, and we had to do things in a certain manner. We were not allowed to play in the streets. So in our own small yard. And I think that gave me an opportunity of like thinking about what I want to become in the future. You know, I think my future when I was in grade 9 or so, my future was quite clear. I want to be in the entertainment industry. I want to be in the movie industry. I want to be in the storytelling industry. Because it's my way out of Ikasi.
Sure.
You know, and it was fun, you know.
When you say it was your way out of Ikasi, have you always sort of, your perception of Ikasi, has it been that place that many people now are starting to sort of realize, looking back, say, it's like, it wasn't meant for people to live. If you think about it, it was a place where people could just stay, actually go sleep, wake up in the morning,
and
go
leave,
to work, come back. But,
I literally saw it like that. And I think the reason that made me see it like that is like, I remember this one time, my mom and I, she was working at CSIR and cleaning the CEO's house.
Sure.
I think at the time, the CEO was Australian or something like that. And we get to his house and I'm like, this is so beautiful. Corner swimming pool, corner in. Like, then we take a train, we go back to Tsakane. And I'm like, no, this is not right. You know, and
I guess you and I share a similar story on that front. My mom was also a domestic worker, you know. I remember the first time I came to Joburg, you know, they stayed in this house in Melville. You know, Melville used to be like
bougie town.
And you know, eating popoti. You know,
good look at taste.
You know, all of those things, man. And we just sit there like, something has to change.
Exactly. So for me, like, in my perception of it, like, still from a young kid, I always saw it like as a place that I'm not supposed to be in. You know, there's limitations in what you do. The space, the environment doesn't feel conducive enough for me to. And the thing is, like, it felt like we're always fighting. You know, like, you always have to be protection.
There's like this agitation.
It was like, you know, and for me, I was like, you know, I'm not built for this. I'm built to stay in that CEO's house. And and I want to have toys like the kids had, like those kids, and I want to enjoy the food like those kids, because my mom would bring leftovers sometimes, which were fun. But then, like, it really isn't me. The lifestyle, the life that I'm supposed to live is this. So I think when I was young, like, my future, I've already figured it out. I was like, I need to leave this place. It's not conducive for me. And I do not want to work at Kellogg's. I love Kellogg's. But I don't want to be like everybody else who wakes up in the morning and wants to work at Kellogg's Cornflakes. I want to go and explore the world.
And you go to UJ?
When I matriculated, I wanted to be a storyteller. And I looked at my grandmother, who was a pastor at the time, leading our church. She would use storytelling as a vehicle to spread a message of hope. And I wanted to be like her, but I didn't have the guts to stand in front of a crowd. and tell them a story that could heal them. So I knew that becoming a bishop or a pastor is not for me.
Gotcha.
So I'd rather be in the other space, which was then I got exposed to filmmaking. And filmmaking then became a vehicle for me to tell stories, and also a vehicle for me that could one day travel the world and work with the creators and make amazing movies and tell beautiful stories. Got to after in 2010. And when I was there, I realized I have more love for fashion versus filmmaking. And it was more for me, I think, like I kept on gravitating more and more towards it as time went on and on. So my friends and I would go to the fashion weeks.
How did you score an invite to a fashion week?
Bro, like we hustle, bro. Like Joe would hustle, bro. Like anyone we see on TV, and if there was like a media event, would go there, hustle to get in, hustle. And then like we meet people. And I think just like when you have the right positive energy towards people open themselves towards you, and then they want to have a conversation with you, and then they tell you what they're up to, and you're like, yo, like, so after I was like, because I'm spending so much time doing more research in fashion, spending more time in fashion. Also, like I've been selling clothes since I was a kid. You know, my first brand, I started selling T-shirts.
Oh, nice. I also sold T-shirts.
That's an easy way to start.
Absolutely, start. And I always say to people, never undermine that, because you learn a lot about economies of scale. You know, you learn a ton about negotiating with your printers.
You learn a lot.
The quality of the T-shirt, 160,
and I think my first brand was called Solomon's Colonnade.
What?
And we sold T-shirts at church, and then I'd also like go to Kaya Sands, buy suits, second-hand suits, bales, fix them up, sell them at church. So church was my platform. So like I've always been in that fashion space, you know, since I was a kid. I mean, like when I was 16, I was one of the first few guys in my neighborhood to wear skinny jean. And boy, you know, like and I'd tailor all my jeans. I would, you know, and only to find out like a couple of months or years later, people will come to me, where do you buy your stuff? Then it allowed me to like start opening up myself.
You were stylish.
I was very stylish. Fashion for me was always, I was a shy kid. I was an introvert. I still am an introvert, right? But fashion for me became a tool to express myself. And to show people that like, hey, I've got a personality too, because other people were bubbly and they could gel easy with other spaces. It was just so hard for me to walk into a space and have conversations with people. So clothing was my gateway to conversations. So like I think before leaving after, I told my family, Gucci, I wanna be a fashion designer. I saw something in Joburg that I think might be the direction that I need to lead. I need to take my life to, you know, and it was a disappointment, of course. Mabuyekasi saying that you want to be a fashion designer is not the most fashionable thing to say, especially back in those days, 2007 to 2010. It wasn't the most, like, because fashion designers in our environment were never known as people who would build businesses.
Absolutely. I mean, we always knew someone Utungayekasi.
Yes.
But it always sort of ended there, unfortunately.
It never took off, you know. And I guess for my family, the fact that they didn't like it is because they saw a lot of guys that did that, and then eventually they had to fold and go get a job somewhere else, you know.
Or it would be something they do after hours or weekends.
And I was like, guys, like I saw David Tlale, I saw Abotula Cindy, I saw you can build the future, you can build a business. And that's the route I took. I took the, you know, do yourself.
So UJ, you enrolled for fashion?
At UJ, I enrolled for fashion design. Studied for a year. Dropped out due to financial difficulties.
Actually, I wanted to say, because my sister studied fashion at UJ. And I always say, these creative courses, they're expensive, man.
Expensive, and they're hard.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not an easy course.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's an expensive course beyond fees.
Your fees, because you have to buy a machine,
buy material, you have to buy stationery. I mean, the stationery alone would kill you.
Yeah.
You know, you lose a crayon, now your thing doesn't look right. You know, you have to buy wax, you have to buy this. So like it's very expensive. So I had to do like jobs in between for me to pay for my fees.
Sure.
So, and in fashion, like you have to be at school at least like an hour before, get ready for 8 o'clock, for your class to start at 8 o'clock. And then if class finishes at 4:30, stay until 7 at night finishing your assignments. And then you know, like it was hard. It was hard. It was not an easy, like in like any other course. And if you can't afford it, it becomes quite a challenging course.
You won't even enjoy it, because
you won't enjoy it.
Constantly stressing about where am I gonna get the same material, where am I gonna get the money,
how am I gonna buy the material, who's gonna sponsor me, how am I gonna do this? And you look at people when they're doing assignments, their presentation, bro, like yours is like cheap paper, you know, so it makes it was kind of hard, but I think for me dropping out was a blessing in disguise.
So you drop out?
I drop out. I start hustling
on the streets.
I start hustling on the street. I've always been a salesman, dog. I've always been selling, you know, as much as like I was an introvert when I was a kid. I remember I asked my mom, I was in grade 5, I asked my mom to give me, I think, about $40. And it was hard for my mom to give me $40, 40 rand. And ngolega leyo 40 rand sahamba ngayithenga ama breads. Nama love candy.
Sure.
Sold them in class. The business grew. And started introducing dog sweet, my pin pops in as the business grew, I started giving stuff away on credit. The chicks, you know, like chicks are always will work their way into you.
Of course.
They will work their way in, and there's majority chicks in the class, and they would never pay on time, so my business got liquidated. Blacklisted,
all those things. Basically, you know, shut down.
I got shut down. But I think for me, I've always been trading ever since. You know, I had to trade at home for me to even get Imali Okera. I'd had to like do the garden, help my granddad with the car, help it, do this, do that.
You knew that actually to have money in your pocket, you had to work.
I had to work.
It's not something that can just be given to you.
They'll never give me $20. No matter if you ask, you have to ask. If you know, which okay, we're gonna have service day. In 3 weeks.
So you have to plant the seed.
You have to start planting the seed. So on the service day, but okay, sharp. I'm marketing. I'm a cabete. You know. So they taught me the value of work.
Absolutely, and I think our journeys are so similar. It feels like I'm chatting to myself, because I remember how I first got my first pair of All Stars. I had to work, bro. You know, I was a good kid, you know. Yeah, man. So,
and you appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You take care of what you have because, you know, you've worked so hard to get there. I remember my first pair of jeans that I bought for myself was a Levi 511.
Yes.
I was so happy, man.
511 with the skinnies.
No, it was a slim skinny.
Slim skinny.
Yeah, before the skinnies became a thing. And it's like a little, it's a mid-rise. It's quite flat. It was nice. It was like, it was my favorite jean. So I bought myself that. I used to save money if I go on my carpet. Save money, eventually have money, bought myself those pair of jeans, and I took care of them so well. They became my staple. So for me, like working hard has always been part of my DNA. It was enforced to me. Like speaking about legacy, you know, like when I started my business, one of the biggest drivers was I need to build something that I can pass on to somebody else. And I had to interrogate myself, why do I say that? And I realized I came from an environment where nothing was handed over to us, nothing was passed on. They could never give you a business, or if somebody dies.
An asset, there's no asset.
There's no asset, there's no life insurance, there's
no land.
There's no land.
You can build from, you know, and become...
And but one thing that I got to learn and that my family has passed on to us was hard work and storytelling. And, you know, seeing my grandmother sharing stories to other people, changing their lives, seeing my granddad doing something almost similar, my great-grandmother, my mom, they all use storytelling to talk to us and to teach us stuff. And that became a gift that they gave to me as well.
Amazing. So now, this 800 rands loan, did you pay it back?
I did pay it back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 8,000 rand.
So 8,000, not 800.
Yeah, it was 8,000 rand.
So she can't come back now and say, hey, Tshepo,
hey man, this my my invoice. So maybe we call it 216 now, who knows?
but to build Tshepo.
Yeah.
So obviously you're already hustling, getting close to selling, and so now let's get to the crux of Tshepo, the genesis of Tshepo Jeans. You just spoke about your first Levi jean being a 511.
Yeah.
Has the love for denim or jeans been there, or it's something that along the way, after wearing that 511, you're like,
I think for
I can do a better job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think jeans have always been part of every era. They jeans, like in fashion, for me, they define eras. You know, like back in the day in 2000, the early 2000s, I'm a Voops, which is now like big pants, baggy pants, the hip hop, R&B scene used denim to showcase their style.
Gotcha.
You know, baggy jeans, jackets, T-shirts, Spice Girl boots. And I saw my aunt wearing those kind of things. And I was like, I want to be part of that culture. I want to be part of the cool culture. I want to take the cool culture and like influence people, you know. So jeans have always been part of my journey. Like I've always loved jeans, and I've realized jeans, like, they've always been so important in so many defining eras. You know, like you can remember the eras of skinny jeans.
Of course.
When skinny jeans started coming out, like
now
the
my
skinny,
hipster.
yeah, there was hipsters before, and then there were like bootlegs, and then after bootlegs, and then they were like almost semi-skinny, and then it went like super tight skinny, like tupna. You know, it's holding everything in, you know, like, and the colors were vibrant, you know. So I remember eras because I'm like, oh no, I remember in this era, this jean was worn.
Got you.
In this era, this kind of style of denim was worn. So denim is always like defined an era in our journeys as humanity.
Got you. So you start Tshepo Jeans.
I started Tshepo Jeans in 2015.
So now do you remember your first client? Someone who said, okay,
Jeez, I don't
how much were you
850.
when you started?
850.
I remember seeing an article.
Yeah.
I think it was a Sowetan.
Okay.
Where they even asked you to explain why were your jeans so expensive.
Like, I think also that question was unfair. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfair. We never walk into other stores and ask them why their jeans or their product is expensive.
But like
it's an unfair question to ask. You know, where does it come from? Like, mentally, like, where does it come from? Do I not deserve to sell a pair of jeans for 850?
Yeah.
You know? But I think for me, like, selling at the price that we sell at is because of the quality that we put in.
Yeah.
The time that we spend to make it.
I remember seeing a tweet. So, and I mean, remember you trended on Twitter, you know, and someone said, "Oh, I always when I talk about branding and marketing, and particularly, you know, proudly South African brands, I always share the story of Tshepo, because I think it's one that, you know, a lot of people can learn from, because it's a story also of patience, persistence, and perseverance, you know. And there were tweets, you know, people saying, they once called you and said they want a denim jacket, and you quoted 3,000. You're like, that was the last time they spoke to you. you know. Then you get people who say, oh yeah, we want to support local brands, but their prices are ridiculous. Yeah. And when you saw those guys at the time, obviously now you're looking back, you're like, but at the time, how did those things?
I mean, like, it was a defining moment, to be quite honest. You know, it was a proper defining moment. Luckily, I had a good support group around me, a good group of people who supported me, you know, mentors and friends who are in the industry. And they always shaped me. They reminded me of why I started what I started. So everything else is just noise. You know, it's noise. When I focus on what you do, it was an opportunity to tell people, to inform people about what we do, why we do it, how we do it, why I chose jeans. It was an opportunity of expressing why we exist in this world of fashion. Why do we exist in this world? Was humanity from it. So why did Tshepo come to life?
Sure.
Yeah.
But then again, almost 5 years later, 4 years later, Meghan Markle comes. Would you say when she got a pair of jeans for herself and Archie, was that a proper, you know, turning point for Tshepo?
I mean,
jeans?
It came...
Or was it when Cassper wore...
I think for me, like my defining moment, to other people might be like it's different things for different people, right? But for me was, I think when Cassper wore that thing at Global Citizen, because Cassper, was drama. Ushalom sent kills me. He's like, hey man, I play for Cassper.
Yeah.
And he's been asking for you because he saw me wearing your dungarees. So it's like, hey, it's like this film Moses Mabida. Can you do something for Cass? I'm like, sharp, cool. Go to Casper's house. I measure him. Walks in like a king. I'm shaking, damn. I'm shaking, dog. I'm like, yo, it's Cassper, dog. And I measure him up, cool. I design the thing. It's like, dude, do whatever you think is cool for me. So I had to think, like, you know, when somebody just gives you.
I also can imagine the pressure.
The pressure.
You don't want to disappoint Cassper.
Yeah, you know,
better be great.
And like, it's doing fill up, dog. Fill up is a big brand. So I'm like, yo. So I designed something, and the day I had to deliver to him, he's already left for Durban. So I'm like, I'm not going to lose this opportunity. I fill up my car. I drive, dog. 6 hours, 30 minutes. Drive to Durban.
Sure.
I get
At least
there.
you had a car then.
Hey, Joe. I just bought a car. So I drive to Durban. I arrive in Durban, I get the address, the home address. He's getting ready, dog. This is he's getting ready to go to the show.
Oh, no.
It's there in the rooms. Everybody's getting ready. Fill up is pumping at that time. People are opening up. The opening acts around 7:30 that time. They're like, hey, Cassper's in the room. And I need to go back to Joburg, bruh. Cassper's busy.
I know Malalo.
Hey, dog. Getting a massage. It's Nyovest, dog. And I'm like, okay, sharp. Hey, I'm waiting for this guy. Now I'm shaking if this thing is going to fit.
Oh, no.
So he tries it on, puts on the jacket. He falls in love with it. He's like, dude, this is it.
Exactly what I wanted.
This is it. He falls. It fits everywhere. Everything is perfect. Takes it, he goes, wears it at fill up. It's amazing. I go back home, I go watch the show a bit. Then I come back home.
Did you drive alone?
Coming back, I drove alone.
You drove?
I drove to Durban with one dude. I was like, hey, Mfana yazi. It was like, Tshepo's Mfana.
And three.
Then I see you, boy. And then coming back, I drove back alone.
What was going
through my mind?
Through your mind.
I was excited, man. I was excited. I felt like it was a defining moment to be seen by when everybody's talking smack about you. And an artist of that caliber, when South African artists are known for not endorsing local people, right? And this guy is busy trending on social media, and nobody's like, so he comes in like, yo, I want to do this. So to be seen by that, like, it was just a stamp of approval that you're doing something amazing and the future is bright. Sure. So drive back, go sleep. I had to go to Cape Town the following morning. Go to Cape Town. He's at Philip. He's at Global Citizen, opening for Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm sleeping in a hotel. I get calls. Eventually, I answer my phone. Yo, what's up? They're like, hey, dog, Cassper, bro. I'm like, what about Cassper? They're like, hey, Cassper, bro, go on Twitter. So I go on Twitter. Tshepo is trending. Cassper is trending. You know, and he's wearing my thing. And that was one of the best performances for Global Citizen.
Sure.
If you find one of the most iconic performances in South Africa was that moment. I didn't see anybody tweeting about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I saw a lot of people just talking about that, and also talking about the fact that Cassper wore Tshepo on stage. So for me, it was a defining moment. Of course, Meghan Markle getting embraced by internationals. I've always thought, like my grandmother always told me, you're gonna dress. He said he read me a verse, and it's like, in that verse it says, your foreigners will rebuild your walls, led by their kings and queens. You know, they will bring their wealth of the nation to you.
Sure.
So and then
stuff.
That comes, and it becomes like a very, very big moment because the whole world talks about it. You know, like CNN, all these big channels talk about it. And I'm like, just an ordinary guy from Tsakane, dog, you know, Tshepo, you know, that kind of changed the perception to a lot of people.
But already at that time, you already had ties in Amsterdam.
I already had ties in Amsterdam. It was before. I've already had ties in Amsterdam, actually. But however, like, having royalty, the biggest family in the world, come to you and force themselves to come and get it.
Sure.
It doesn't get any better than this. So it's been a defining moment, and it really changed the trajectory of the brand and the perception.
Then you're like, okay, when Cassper 850, Mars is 1.6.
I mean, like with any business, growth is important. Like I invested a lot in the quality of my product. I traveled around to find to design, to create the best pair of jeans, to find the best materials. I had to invest a lot in my craft.
I mean, I remember my first pair of Tshepo's and the ones that I have now, worlds apart.
From a quality perspective. So I had to invest a lot in myself, and the craft that we produced, you know, getting an opportunity to go to Amsterdam, the only jean school in the world, to learn from the best people who've built all the international jean brands, to teach you their trade.
Sure.
Then come back and you're like, oh, snap. You know, when I came back, I was like, yo, guys, we need to, you don't get into being eating stuff before. It's nonsense. Actually, the real stuff is this. So like it gave me an opportunity to open my eyes. And with that comes value, you know. And for me, I believe like if you really love something, you'll spend the money
and invest in it.
You know, whether you bought 400 rand, it doesn't matter. Like if you really love something, you'll invest your money into it.
Great, man. Then back to storytelling, which is something you really talked about a lot. And I mean, I think if there's any brand locally that does like proper storytelling, it has to be Tshepo. And stories that relate, that people can resonate with. You know, you said you got it from your grandmother, right? We the people, because it's also part of the story, or actually the rich heritage of South Africa. Can you just unpack?
I mean, We the People was like quite an interesting one, you know. My business partner and I, we go to a talk at Constitution Hill, and LB Sachs, Robbie, Rosen, and Luando, they chat, and Robbie shines a light on Luando and says, hey Luando, read the preamble, let these people understand what this Constitution is about. And the preamble is one of the most beautiful things that has ever been written by South Africans. You know, one of the biggest exports that we have, which is the South African Constitution. She reads it and like it touches me. It touches me. My partner and I were sitting there, he's what I did. You know, this thing is so rich. And at the time, like a lot of people were leaving the country, you know.
There was that exodus.
It was when people are leaving, you know, when there's the hashtagging, like we won't leave. Remember when like you pass around billboards, we won't leave. I'm staying. Yes. And then xenophobic attacks were happening at the same time. And for me, I was like, we need something that would unify people again. And this piece of paper, this writing
Yeah.
is literally was designed by people from all walks of life.
And they all agreed.
And they all agree that like to rebuild this nation called South Africa, these are the things that we need to do in order to achieve a new nation.
Yeah.
And, you know, like blacks, whites, Indians, coloreds, Khoikhoi, everybody was consulted to write about this. So for us, we said, hey, we need to inform South Africans again about this beautiful paper. Let's shine a light on our heritage, on why we are, how did we get here?
Absolutely.
You know,
and I think a lot of times, obviously, given, you know, the amount of noise of various things, it's easy to forget.
It's easy to forget
where we come from.
Yeah.
And sometimes one would say what our superpower is.
Yeah, our superpower is that, you know, we are a diverse nation that comes from different worlds, that has experienced a lot of different things. Other people experience trauma, other people experience happiness. And like throughout those worlds apart, a lot of people try to come together to try and make this thing work as a nation, you know. And for me, like I was raised in a home where Umakreza didn't lock the gates at home because she's a community worker, a social worker. So people at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, they would knock, come and pray before they go to work.
Sure.
You know, would see rich people, gangsters, poor people coming. And when people come, different types of people, if they're coming for like an hour session, you have to make them tea, serve them cookies and all of that. It doesn't matter whether they're poor or they're rich. And I think also the Constitution speaks about that humanity. You know, it speaks to humanity. And for me, like I am all about humanity, you know, and I'm all about building. And when you build, it's like you think about the next person in mind, regardless of their race, their social status, regardless, you always think about the next person in mind. And that's what We the People is all about. It was a reminder of where we come from, of who we are as a nation and where we're going as a nation, you know. And also for me, I think most importantly was the fact that like if you are a gene maker, be the best gene maker.
Got you.
If you are a Lorato agency, be the best agency. Don't do shortcuts.
Half-half.
Don't do half-half. Don't cut corners. Do the best. Do the best. Go the extra mile. And that's what We the People is about. It's like also when you rise, lift others with you. You know, so now we did version 2 of We the People. We first launched in 2020, and we did a nationwide launch through a big retailer, and that became a smash hit. And ever since we could never close off the tap. You know, so if I didn't have this t-shirt, I'd make people angry because like people want to travel. Like this lady I was speaking to this morning says to me, I was like, hey, we just relaunched We the People in 12 official languages. And she's like, oh my God, Tshepo, you have no idea. That's the only thing that I buy for people in the US when I leave. Literally, like, I can read the message for you.
That's insane.
I was like, no ways. Her name is Sheila, right? And she's like, Taps, like, you have no idea. I buy this.
Interesting.
I buy this for people when I travel, like Tingela Bantu this thing because like it's got a special place in her heart,
and
you know,
she wants to share it with the world,
and she wants to share the love with the world. And for me, it's like she's like, hey, glad to hear you rolling out this range again. I've bought before, and I love giving it as gift to people in the US. I struggled to find these teas for a while, so everybody like has been telling me the same thing. So they take it, they gift it. You know, companies take it and gift it as corporate gifting. You know, and
I mean, I'm sure because I mean, what I love about your product, you know, whenever I get a little bit of money to buy type of stuff, is that every detail there's a story. You know, even that the card, the tag that comes in, it's not just with the prize and the Tshepo logo. You know, I'm sure people get to read that story and they can properly connect with it.
And absolutely, I think for us, like we reached a certain market, the market of people who kind of intellectual and they love reading and they want to know what is behind this. And because of how the brand is positioned, it's positioned in a slow way for people to like take their time, get to know the product, get to feel the t-shirt, get to feel the jacket. And our sales force will also like reinforce why we made it, how it was made.
I remember Mabu.
Mobu.
Is it
Mobu?
Mobu.
Yeah,
Mobu.
you know, so like it's all those kind of things. We constantly want to tell a story. We're constantly getting better at our storytelling.
So a little birdie is telling me that you're opening a store in Sandton City.
Who told you that?
A little birdie. Yeah, man.
So part of our We the People rollout campaign, we had a session with Sandton City and we're like, hey, this is what we're doing. We'd like to get a pop-up station. And they're like, okay, cool.
Oh, it's a pop-up, so it's not an official.
Pop-up.
Sandton City ran too much.
No, not really. We were still looking. We're still looking for a permanent location in Sandton City. We're having chats with them. But we said, hey, in the meantime, we're just looking for something small that we can just use to make people have accessibility, because we're not going with any major retailer now. We're doing it ourselves. So the biggest thing is like you need to get it in the hands of the people. Hyde Park, of course, is a beautiful upper echelon mall. However, it's got its own people. Not everybody walks in. We see Cyril every day. You know, it's one of those places.
Oh,
you know?
If you are an avid visitor of Oliver Place.
You know, so it's the same person that walks into the center, and our customers travel far and wide to come and get our products. So we wanted to bring it closer to people. We wanted to also expose the brand to more people that we've never heard about us.
And this is your first pop-up in Sandton?
This is our first. It's our first pop-up. So it's a short pop-up until the end of June. It's a beautiful location, high traffic place.
Nice.
And it's all about sharing the story of unity in diversity, you know, united in our diversity. That's our tagline for We the People. Now, and when we're rolling out in 12 official languages, so it's literally the same design. In 12 official languages. This is like a message of revolt. You know, like when we're walking around Johannesburg, bro, and you realize that like you can pass a lot of people without even greeting them.
Got you.
So what Tshepo has done that I've seen in the market is like when you're wearing a Tshepo item or wearing a We the People, it's a I'm taller boy. You know, there's that.
I know that feeling. I mean, especially when you even outside of Joburg, by the way, when you see someone wearing it, like
you feel like their family.
But also at the same time, also like you said earlier on, it's people of a different intellect. There is that commonality. There's that we understand who we are.
It's a community.
And we understand what we stand for as human beings. It's one of those brands that you gotta somehow connect. Intellectually. Even,
And so that's like for us is like, and we realize like the power of what makes us South African is the fact that we're all different, and how do you celebrate heritage? And for us, like we're not obviously African in our design.
Got you.
But like there's language in our design, the story and language tells story, of who I am. If I'm wearing Inavanu or Tinabatu or Renabatu, you're like, oh, Kimopedi, Kimovenda. Like you can greet them in their language and it's an opener. Like this one guy says to us, I was wearing the Inavanu t-shirt. And like all these people at the embassy are greeting me in Venda. And I'm not Venda, just so it did as like all the securities. So it's like it made them feel like even connected. Our people can go to America, you know what I mean? So it's like
very profound.
So it has created that it connects people with one another, because we live in a world where we're all focused at what we're doing. We don't sometimes forget about the next person.
Absolutely.
And this kind of like
it's just a reminder.
Brings you in for the, hey man, this person is human. You know, this person has something about them, and for them to, if they wear a statement like this boldly about people in the language, then it means there's something special about them. I can go and open up to them.
Thina bantu. I like that. The Swati one.
Are you Swati?
No, I'm the Vele. But
okay.
It sounds Thina bantu. Okay, man. It's time for the notorious, the infamous Pattern Brands quiz. Let's see how well you know your brands.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Let's open it up here. Let's open it up here. First question. Let me look for the question. Are you a fan of coffee?
I love coffee, man.
You love coffee?
Yeah.
Do you take instant coffee or you take?
I take real coffee. I love my beans, bro.
You love your beans?
I love my beans. I love stories, you know, so I need to know where the beans come from. Like I go to coffee shops and like, no, these ones come from Kenya.
Ethiopia.
Rwanda. This is from, you know, like I love that.
Okay, cool. Let's see if this one is not that coffee brand.
Okay,
but it's a coffee brand.
Right.
Jacobs.
Yes.
You know, recently partnered up with a chocolate brand.
Okay.
To come up with obviously a unique flavor or a chocolate infused coffee.
Coffee infused chocolate.
Something like that. Yeah. Which chocolate brand did they partner up with? I'll give you 3 options.
Okay. Is it commercial?
Oh, what do you mean commercial?
Is it
out there?
Is it like a niche brand? Is it a commercial brand?
I can't go any further.
Give me 3 options.
I can only give you 3 options.
Okay, cool.
And one of them is correct.
Yeah.
Right? Nestle, Kit Kat,
Okay.
Lindt,
Okay.
or Cadbury.
I would. I mean, like if they did something with Lindt, it would be more niche, right?
Yeah.
Are they Are they going commercial? It's between Nestle and Cadbury.
Yeah.
I would say Cadbury.
You get a pass. That's a correct answer. Yeah.
Nestle's got their own coffee.
Absolutely. So it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah.
That's actually a clever approach. Take it back to us. Knickknacks.
Zinj.
Yeah. But yeah. So they recently launched a new flavor.
Yeah.
You know, in which one of the faces was Matlera, the boy. You know, what flavor was it?
Has to be a Cassper flavor, this one.
Okay, let me give you some options.
A Cassper flavor with the
what?
With the
Khusp. Was it the Scopas flavor? Cheesy quarter? Or beef chisanyama?
Matlera. Hey, fanagit. Matlera achama Scopas, ne? Flamboyant nyana sometimes. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'll say Mascopas.
Hey, I say the cheesy quarter.
It's a cheesy quarter.
Yeah, cheesy.
When was this?
Yeah, this was how many weeks ago? I mean, in July.
Oh wow. Okay.
Less than a month ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So cheesy quarter.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen it.
Is the one. Who's the current ambassador for African Bank? Brand ambassador, that is.
Current brand ambassador
for
African Bank.
Give you options.
Yeah.
Let me give you options. You know?
Is it Kabza? It's not Kabza the small.
It's in Gufama.
Okay, sure.
Is it in Nandim Goma?
Okay.
Nomza Mombata? Or Zakes Bantwin.
Yo, I'll say Nandi. No, it's 6. No, it's Nomzamo. It's Nomzamo.
You have to choose one. Choose one. You have to choose one.
Shucks, man. I'll choose Nomzamo.
Are you sure?
I'll choose Nomzamo.
You get it back. Yes, yes.
No, I saw something. I think I saw something. Yeah. I saw something on socials.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is Nomzamo
yeah. Nice.
Aha. Let's look at this. Let's look at this very interesting question. Let's bring it back home. Maxhosa.
Yes, sir.
Do you watch Maxhosa with envy or with inspiration? When you look at that brand.
I love that brand. First time when I met that guy.
Now I'm asking you, Tshepo, the fashion designer.
No, I love that brand.
Yeah.
You know, first time meeting him, it was in, it was very early, like around 2011. We met at Bramfontein.
Yes.
And he already started doing that knitting stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this guy is cool. And then watching Maxhosa, the brand, and the men become what they are.
Yeah.
Super inspirational. I went to his studio a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
After seeing it then, and then went to his studio, and I was like, what? And then I went to his recent studio. I'm like, dude. And him and I chat, and he gives advice, and I ask advice. So I look at him as like a mentor in the business. And also like he's redefining luxury from an African perspective.
Absolutely.
And he's doing it like with utmost respect, and he's doing it with style, with taste, with ease, and he's giving the best quality out there, and he stands for what he stands for. And for me, like when a brand like Maxhosa makes it, Tshepo can make it, and everybody else can make it, so it makes the circle bigger.
Got you.
Sorry,
Did you check out the Decorex execution?
I didn't go to Decorex.
You're not in town.
No, I wasn't in town.
Okay, which hair brand did they recently partner up with? Let's see which Valley, you and him.
So I gotta watch it. I don't like.
Did they partner up with Dark and Lovely? Soft and Free? Or Tresemme?
There's something between Tresemme and Dark and Lovely there.
Which one is it gonna be?
Which one makes sense?
You're asking me.
Dark and Lovely would make sense from a local perspective. Tresemme would make sense from an international perspective. So I'll say Tresemme.
Hey, you good at this thing, eh? It was clever.
Yeah?
That's the one.
Is it the one? What did they do?
Actually, I haven't fully immersed myself in that execution. But I know they partnered up.
Oh, nice. It makes sense.
Yeah, they did. I think it has to do with the packaging.
Okay.
You know, like they did even with. Remember when they partnered up with Tanqueray?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Where do you pour your petrol? Let's put you on the spot.
I put my petrol everywhere, depending on when the thing says deep, and then I'm like, okay, it's time now. So normally, like I do, I don't know, PP.
Yeah,
I do BP.
Okay, let's bring it back to your peers again.
Yeah.
Batu.
Yeah.
Today, I think today or yesterday.
Yeah, they're opening your store.
Yeah. It's store number what?
34.
Flip.
Yeah.
You taking notes, eh?
Me.
Correct.
Powerful, man.
Correct.
Well done to Theo. He's built a giant of a business there.
Absolutely.
Very inspirational.
Then last question.
Yeah.
Last question. We like to keep it local.
Yeah.
And let's see if you watching your peers. Because, I mean, these are our peers, really, you know. Legends.
Baba. Sheldon.
Thatchell. Another amazing entrepreneur. recently launched.
In Botswana, ne?
Yeah, in Botswana and whatever. But they launched a hair
Machine.
clipper.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I forgot. I forgot.
Let me give you a name. Is it called trim and cut?
Mm-hmm.
Is it called fade?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it called Legends Machine?
I think trim and cut.
Trim and cut, fade, or Legends Machine?
Yo, I know my questions were. I'd go with fade.
Yes, yes.
Is
You
it good?
get a pass.
I only got one wrong.
Yeah.
I'm good, man.
You're good at this thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's called fade.
Yeah.
But the fade is spelled as FXDE. And I
Yeah.
asked him, like, I thought it was Foxtel.
Yeah.
They said, no,
You're
it's fade.
He's the king of fade.
Yeah, his eyes. doing
Shapa
proper.
German cut in Vanaka.
Yeah.
Batlelona.
Yeah. He said to me, I know, I'm not sure yet if they're opening a hair clinic, you know.
Yeah.
So, hey, Fatty must come and get some implants there, man, you know. It's like,
And then King of Vanaka.
but Chiscop is convenient.
Yeah.
Shining. So, Tshepo, man, those that want to get a hold of you or want to get a hold of Reneba too, or they want to get a hold of, you know, some nice jeans, how can they get a hold of you, man?
You can find us on our online store, which is www.tshepo.shop. Or you can visit any of our stores, Victoria Yards, which is in downtown Johannesburg, or in Sandton City, which we're opening in the next couple of days. Or you can visit our Hyde Park flagship store.
Yes, Hyde Park, the richest square mile in Africa.
Danko.
And lastly, look into that camera and give advice to a young Tshepo, you know, who's in Tsakane, you know, who is trying to do something that's unconventional.
Sure, an advice that I would give to myself:
Yeah.
stay humble. I'm joking.
Okay.
I think for me, like, you know, I'm at a point in my life where I realize I always look back and asking myself, like, what would I say to myself if I'm living vicariously? You know, like I'm living in two worlds, and I'm still 21, and I'm my age right now.
Yeah.
I think for me is like, be crazy, man. Don't stop being crazy. Don't stop being foolish. Follow that scary dream.
Yeah.
And stay humble. And always take care of the ones that you love. That's it.
I think for me, if anything, take care of the ones you love. Because seldom, once you make it, you forget about them.
Yeah, man. How?
Because now the streets are calling you, Tshepo.
Hey, man, don't let the street call.
The streets want you.
The streets were not there, Chief.
Mohodo Monday.
I'm gonna take care. Take care of the community.
Take care of the community.
Very important.
Thank you so much, man, Tshepo. I think we need a part 2. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of questions that I still have. And I think particularly right on the business side and where you are and how you plan to take over the world. But obviously, we'll talk again. At least I have you on WhatsApp. So I'll WhatsApp you. Just like how you WhatsApp Cassper and all these other celebrities.
Pet, thank you so much for opening up this platform to me and your audience. I really appreciate it.
Awesome stuff. For me, Pet Mahlangu, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment if you found value in this piece of content. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Last I checked, we are shy of 175 subscribers, you know, to get to 1,000. Hopefully this episode will help us get there, Tshepo. No pressure.
No pressure.
But yeah, this episode was made possible by Lerato Agency. If you're looking for a PR and digital marketing agency, look no further than Lerato Agency. They craft brands that people love. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And of course, 12 Creations. You know, if you're looking for a production company that makes beautiful video content, takes beautiful pictures, 12 is the brand. And for me, Pat Mahlangu ngithi inarha ilale.
Pat. It's Pat on Brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the